Triza worked at a supermarket as a customer service girl. She carried herself with pride, believing she was beautiful, tall, slim, and light-skinned, yet many around her thought otherwise. Raised without discipline, Triza had grown wild under her mother's careless watch. She insulted elders, smoked bhang in the company of rough boys, and treated relationships like bubble gum, chewed today, spat out tomorrow. One afternoon, after a hearty lunch of chicken stew and fries, her mother sat her down. "My daughter, fear nobody but hell," Mama Triza declared. Triza chuckled. "I fear no hell, Mama." Her mother laughed proudly, encouraging her defiance. "That's my girl. Give them hell." Triza sneered with confidence, claiming no one would ever stand in her way. Mama Triza reinforced her arrogance, calling her the blood of her blood. Together they laughed, unaware that life was preparing a storm that would test Triza's defiance. At the supermarket, Triza stood beside trays of baked cakes, her long legs on full display, catching the attention of every man who passed. She loved the stares, the whispers, the greedy eyes that followed her. To her, admiration was a drug, and she craved it badly. One bold customer stepped closer, smirking. "Hello, beautiful. Can I eat you too?" he teased. Triza laughed, her eyes glittering with mischief. "Convince me you're the best, then maybe yes," she replied. The man leaned in, boasting about his skills. Triza pretended to hesitate before smiling slyly. "Maybe not," she said, enjoying the chase. But he persisted, promising a posh date after work. Triza's smile widened and she agreed to wait for him. Men to her were playthings, each new one a temporary thrill. Yet beneath her carefree laughter, unseen dangers circled, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. In her estate, security had become a growing concern. Robberies, muggings, even rapes haunted the nights. To protect themselves, the neighbors bought a padlock for the main gate. But Triza, stubborn and selfish, didn't like the idea. The lock interfered with her nightly routine of sneaking faceless men into her house. Without a second thought, she threw the padlock away. Furious, her neighbors confronted her. "Triza, why would you do that?" Dorcas asked angrily. Triza scoffed. "If my mother doesn't control me, who are you to try?" Alan, an elder, stepped forward. "Child, at least show some respect. Stop screaming during your acts. The whole estate hears you." Triza sneered, mocking his spider-like legs. "I respect no one. I'll scream how I want." Neighbors warned her that life would one day teach her a bitter lesson. Triza only laughed, certain she was untouchable. That night, silence wrapped the estate, broken only by the occasional bark of a stray dog. Triza was inside her small house, restless and unafraid. Around midnight, shadows moved quietly outside her door. The thieves had chosen their moment well. Suddenly, the door burst open, and chaos stormed in. Triza screamed, her voice piercing the night, raw with terror. But the neighbors, so used to her nightly cries of pleasure, turned over in their beds and ignored her. To them, it was just Triza again, loud, reckless, and shameless. Her desperate pleas went unanswered as the intruders overpowered her. The once bold and fearless girl, who declared she feared nothing, was now trapped in a nightmare. The irony of her screams filled the air, but no rescue came. Behind closed doors, evil had finally caught up with the girl who thought herself untouchable. When morning came, the sun rose over a chilling sight. Triza's body lay on the grass outside her house, cold and lifeless. She was naked, bruised, and smeared with blood. The laughter that once filled the estate silenced forever. She had been raped to death, her defiance crushed in the most brutal way. Neighbors gathered in small groups, whispering. None of them had gone to her aid the night before. They had mistaken her cries of pain for her usual reckless pleasure. Now, guilt mixed with relief in their eyes. No one came forward. No one dared investigate. The rapist vanished into anonymity, leaving behind only the horror of what he had done. Triza, the girl who claimed to fear nothing, had met her end in the cruelest manner. The estate stood quiet, the echoes of her screams lingering like a curse on every doorstep. The police arrived in their dusty Land Cruiser, lifting Triza's body with little ceremony and driving it to the mortuary. There were no tears, no mourning voices from the estate. Neighbors watched silently, some even whispering that she was safer dead. On the day of her burial, not a single soul from the estate followed the procession. Triza, once loud and defiant, left the world in silence, unloved, unmissed, and forgotten. Yet her story lingered, carrying a lesson too heavy to ignore. Life, cruel as it is, teaches through pain and tragedy. Morals, discipline, and respect are the shields that guard one's destiny. Had Triza lived differently, perhaps her ending would not have been written in blood. To those who remained, her fate stood as a warning that arrogance and defiance may feel like freedom, but sooner or later, life demands a price for every choice made.